Thanks for tuning in to the Loss Prevention News Network. I'm Joe LaRocca, and I'm joined today by two very special guests. Thrilled they could be here today. Greg Saputo and John Mangiameli from Se-Kure Control. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here.
Glad to be here.
And, we're in New York. It's January. We're right down the street from the National Retail Federation's annual conference. A lot going on this week, and I know there's a lot going on within your company as well. Retailers down the street are talking all about the web and new innovations and how they're changing, reorganizing the company to better meet the needs of retailers nationwide. I understand you've got some big announcements to make here too. Let's start with the web.
Well, I don't know that it's such a big announcement because it's probably pretty commonly known that our website has been lacking for a number of years. And last year we made a commitment to upgrade that site, and we've hired some professionals to do it on our behalf. And it launched last week on the 9th.
Congratulations.
We are, I can speak for me, I'm ecstatic with it. I've been through it a number of times looking for errors and whatnot, but it's the navigation of the site is just outstanding. Our product, you're able to see it in a whole new light that you never could see it before, so we are just extremely pleased with it and looking forward.
That's great. How exciting for retailers to see the whole portfolio of your products.
Well, and it's under construction as well. It's a process, not an event.
Right.
We'll continue to add, continue to take recommendations from our customers and say what they would like to see, and we'll make the changes.
Right. I think that's one of the reasons you're 52, 53 years in business now, and as far back in my 30 years of retail experience, one thing about Se-Kure Control, you're always taking feedback from the customer. You're not saying no, you're saying let's figure it out together and working together, and I've always appreciated that. I also know that you're looking at the organization and how you serve retailers. The industry is changing, we're moving around, making some changes in operations as well, correct?
That's correct. Over the past several months, we've made a number of changes, added 2 new salespeople, added some staff positions within the headquarters to address really just serving the customer, providing them with better information, providing our salespeople with quicker and more responsive answers to their questions and their customers' questions.
That's great. And when I snuck a peek of the website in full disclosure. I also was curious. You clearly have a global footprint.
Yes.
You have some dealers all over the world. I looked especially at Italy. I wonder why 3 Italians standing up here. Go figure. So tell me a little bit about how that works. You're a global retailer. They would contact somebody here in the U.S. and is it something that you're able to at one point connect with the other parts of the world?
Well, we utilize distributors throughout the world, and it makes it easier for them to serve retailers in their countries simply because they'll have inventory. We don't have to wait, that customer doesn't have to wait for shipment from the United States. And every year we have a couple of meetings with those distributors, and we're always looking for distributors in countries that we're not currently represented in. So it's been an ongoing process, and it's one of the things that one of the changes that we've made over the past several months is that we're putting a greater emphasis not only on that international distributor program, but on our Domes and Mirrors company as well.
Makes sense. When we look at retail, is there countries that you look at as leading the way compared to the U.S.? I always think of Europe and some of the places in Paris and even in Milan and other large international cities that retailers seem to have a lot of flexibility with the equipment they can use and how they deploy security, preventative measures, etc. In your experience, are there certain countries that do it as good or even better than we do here in the U.S.?
Well, it's very much like the U.S. in the sense that if sales are going well, if the economy is going well, they have money to spend and they're able to utilize it. Over the past several years, it's been a little bit tougher in Europe simply because their economy hasn't been great. But countries like Germany and England seem to be doing pretty well. We're seeing significant increases in our business in Central and South America, throughout Latin America, and in South Africa. So it really just depends on how the economy is going and what the effect of their loss, their shrinkage really is. I mean, how bad is it, and what do they need for protection?
I'd like to chime in on that for just 1 second. One of the things that we have found is that the core technology that drives the loss prevention industry, the technology that's used to protect merchandise, as the economy has become more and more a one world economy, the technology that's here is in the UK, it's in Russia, it's in South Africa. So they're all drawing from the same pool of technology. It's the applications and how quickly they implement the new technologies. But to John's point, that's we have it all out there through our network of distributors.
It's fantastic. So if I can, let's shift gears a little bit. We have two of us are seasoned travelers, me and John. No, I'm kidding. All three of us have traveled our fair share of miles. Earlier today, we were talking about travel hacks or travel tips for people. I'm not going to share with you what was mentioned earlier, but I'd like your thoughts. So if you were to give some business travelers some advice, pick a tip that you would offer for them.
Well, let me say one. On several occasions, we've had salespeople who would travel, they get to their location and they realize that their driver's license that they used as the identification piece was missing. So one of the things that I recommend to our salespeople is that they get a state ID, utilize that for their identification so that they never lose their driver's license, never even take it out of their wallet when they're going through the airport.
That's a great one.
I'm not sure how appropriate or how it applies today, but there was a time, and I did travel very, very heavily, where you ran through the airport and you got on the plane and TSA didn't exist. The one tip I would offer is get on the right plane. Because I wound up on a flight from Detroit to Chicago and San Francisco one time.
Wow.
They put me right on the plane and away I went.
That could ruin your day.
It did.
Yeah, yeah. So earlier today, we heard some good ones. Tell me if you agree. One of them was book a window seat and an aisle seat so you have the center seat free. And that way, nobody really wants the center seat, so you can probably travel with a little extra space.
I think it's a great idea, but the reality is planes are so booked full today that they're flying full. If I thought I could do that and get away with it, I certainly would.
Yeah. Pre-check was another one offered.
Yeah.
And global entry.
Yes.
All good.
A must.
Yeah, all
right?
good.
Are either of you a member of Clear?
I used to be, but TSA has gotten into the habit of including me so often that I let my Clear membership expire.
Okay. Yeah, I dropped out when they folded, and they've since reignited the program.
Yes.
I'm back, but
Yeah.
it's interesting. And so leave it on one final note. I guess I should have done this when we were asking about the website. Tell people how they would find you on the web. www.
.se-kure.com.
se-kure.com. That's Se-Kure Controls. I'd like to thank John and Greg for spending a few minutes with us. Enjoy the rest of your week here in New York City. And thank all of you for tuning into the Loss Prevention News Network, your #1 source of LP news and information.
Thank you,
Now
Gus.
back to Gus.